Okay, we got spoons and forks. Hey guys, it's Chime here with Ask Chi Anything, and today I'm super excited that I'm here with my great good friend. What?
Cruz Moreno.
Cruz Moreno. Yeah, caught him off guard with the live buttons.
Got me off guard. I'm here though.
Yeah, so Cruz is the owner of Honey Hill Texas BBQ, and we are doing this show where we get to eat some barbecue. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So, but we gonna let y'all kind of come in and take your time and such. We see one person's up live, but you see all this amazing food that I get to enjoy with my good friend, and we're gonna have some good conversation. About why he's doing this, where he's from, his family, everything. And there's also you at home get to ask him and myself any question about all of this goodness, and and ask him when he's gonna make this happen in Roseburg, because I shouldn't be the only one get to enjoy this.
No, you won't. You won't.
Yeah.
Well, great. So you want to just go ahead and start cutting into it?
Yeah, why don't you start cutting in, because I know people are just kind of joining in, so they might just want to see what's happening.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of describe what we have here. So
yes,
we have some pork spare ribs right here. These are St. Louis style cut. So they're not baby back ribs. They're more of like, they're more flat, but they're more spread out. So there's a little bit more meat on them. So we have these. We have one that's glazed. So one has like a caramelized barbecue sauce on top. And the other one is just salt and pepper rub. So in Texas, so like I said, this is Texas style barbecue. So the way that we do it is very low and slow, low temperatures, very long amount of time smoking them. These ones in particular took us 8 hours to prepare. Which is quite a while, but in comparison to like a brisket, which takes like 12 to 14 hours, it's actually pretty short. So, but anyways, we have some potato salad here and some beans, which really and truly the beans are like a meal in themselves. You're going to see it has brisket in them. I actually smoked these. So
you smoked the brisket?
I smoked the brisket in the beans, but I also smoked the beans themselves.
So you smoke the beans and brisket.
Yeah. So I get all the ingredients together, and then I put a big pot in my smoker itself. It's a huge smoker, and so we actually smoke the beans themselves. So you get all that good flavor in there too. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we're just trying a little bit of chicken. It's we just wanted to just play around. So
we're gonna play around with some barbecue smoked chicken. So
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut into it. I'm gonna try a little bit of both, so that way we can kind of see what we like best. The dry rub here, the one that's just salt and pepper, that's more traditional Texas style. This would be more like Kansas City or whatever, but like for me and even in Texas, just growing up, like this is like backyard style that has the barbecue sauce.
So people's like, yummy.
Yeah.
Hurry, open up. When are we going to get a chance to access this deliciousness? So
right.
hold up. We're going to have a whole hour to talk about this, but I want to dive in because, like, really, what you just brought this in like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So this is fresh off the grill. Yeah. So we don't want to get this cold. So, but definitely bring in the question, because this is amazing. And as we cutting open this up, we're going to talk more about when he's going to open up. All that goodness. So
I'll give you guys are going to get a special inside look in what we're doing here at Honey Hill and just all the things that are happening here and in the future. So if you guys are tuning in, make sure to spread the word, because you guys are going to get a firsthand look. So
here in Roseburg.
In Roseburg, guys.
Roseburg,
Oregon. Texas.
Straight from Texas.
I'm going to start with the glaze, because I actually like that more than anything else. I love the dry rub, don't get me wrong, but I love the glaze. Just sweet, tastes like candy. It's just awesome.
Okay. So tell us more about this glaze. Like, did you make the sauce? Where'd you get them? What's it about?
It's a mix. So we mix the sauce up with some store-bought stuff, but then we also have it within the rub itself. So like when you're actually rubbing it on there, it's a little bit of a concoction, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a state secret?
It's a secret. Yeah. Okay. I can't give away everything, but at the same time, like you guys are going to see, I'm going to come out with a YouTube channel. I'm going to show you guys how I do everything. So
anyway, people say we're teasing them, and we're in Roseburg in this. What's the address?
So just so you guys know, we're still currently in the startup phase. So right now in my driveway have a food trailer, and we're working on building it right now personally. So we don't have a physical address as of yet. We do have a number of different opportunities that are coming up that will allow us to park there whenever we want. So right now we're doing catering, and in the meantime, that's what we're doing in the meantime is catering.
So catering. Mm-hmm. So Jill, you asked where is it going to be? It could be at your house. Yeah. So hit up the Cruz about that.
Yeah, let us know at Honey Hill TX BBQ. We're on literally every platform, including TikTok. I got to get into that.
Exactly. So let's cut into this because I'm hungry.
Let's eat. Okay, I'm just going to chop it right in half, and I'm going to give the rest of my family here. So let's just get
as a family.
Let me stand up for this because I don't want to like mess it up. And I'm actually going through bone right now. So
oh my god, the juice is like popping out. Yeah, nothing like a juicy ribs.
Like this is like sacrilegious for barbecue people. They're like, oh, don't squeeze it. But I'm just going to show like how juicy it is. It's like just. It's
just my goodness! Look at that, just juice.
I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of far away, but it's all good. So these are the ones that we're going to eat.
I want to bring the camera in a little close to kind of see the juice.
Yeah, let's cut the juice going. It's kinda, it's just oozing out. You can't really see, but it's
a little bit.
It's all good. So let's go ahead and cut into them. Yeah. So how many of these would you like?
Oh, don't ask me that question.
Let's start you out with 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I might be kind of greedy.
Just 2 of these. I'm gonna put them in a plate right here.
Yeah. So.
And then we'll do some of the dry ribs too.
Okay. Dry ribs. Ooh. So dry ribs won't be as juicy, or how's that work?
They're still going to be juicy. It's just the outside isn't going to be real wet.
And that's you said the dry ribs is just salt and pepper.
So it's dry rub. So
dry rubs. Okay.
Yeah. So really, it's just salt, pepper, and a little bit of paprika and stuff. And really and truly, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
It's all it is. It's really just the smoke and the amount of time that you're smoking it, and a clean fire. That's really important.
So how long's that been?
Well, like I said, these are like 7-8 hours that we took.
So bring it up to you, like a chaining thing, 7-8 hours.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me make my plate here. Let me get you some chicken here too. We haven't really been big on putting chicken on the menu, just because.
Yeah. And somebody asked, is there a published catering menu?
Can you put this? Say again.
Is there a published catering menu?
Yeah. If you guys go to our Facebook page, it's published on there. You can look for the menu and you'll see it.
So it's on the menu. It's on there. So, Honey Hill TX BBQ.
BBQ.
Yeah. And if you want to put that link on, the thing. Okay. So dry rub for the wing. You can always sauce them on your plate.
That's true. Yeah. That's so true. And in Texas, like they say, oh, good barbecue doesn't need sauce. However, like I like sauce, and I am from Texas, so I think good barbecue is good both ways. And if it's good food, it's good food. It doesn't matter. So,
yeah. Okay. And then those dry rubs are looking amazing. That's what. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Tina, for joining us. We got 13 people up on this, watching this.
We got our meat. Here we go.
Look at that plate of meat.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
So
oh my god.
I'm gonna give
the beans right here.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you the clean plate.
Oh, the clean plate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
And now we can just chill.
Yeah. So now we already cut the meat. You're gonna watch us eat, but we also go talk more about his business and his passion and what brought him here. So when Cruz is ready to come back,
I'm back.
Sorry that. All right.
Okay.
Yes, dinner time. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. I'm so hungry.
So.
Okay.
And you've been working on this for 7-8 hours. Is that correct, or longer than that?
Yeah. Well, it takes a little bit longer to prepare everything and get the fire going and stuff. But yeah.
So tell us more about that. Like start from the beginning process. Like you said, the fire. Like what does that mean?
Yeah. So really and truly, you need a clean fire. So there's such thing as dirty smoke. So when you see like a bunch of like billowing smoke, you think that's what would give you more smoky flavor. However, it's like really bad. It has a lot of acid in it.
Oh, wow.
So it'll make the food just taste really bad. So really what you're looking for is a clean fire that's just really burning strong.
So is this kind of white or
so
what?
It's invisible almost. Yeah.
Invisible.
Clean blue smoke is what they're looking for. You can see a little bit of it, but when it's clean, you really can't see anything, and it turns out really good in the food. You can tell. So
all right.
So dig in. You're gonna need some napkins.
You know what? I'm just gonna
make yourself at home. We're here. We're family.
Yeah, we're family. We're gonna make this happen.
Here's some.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. So
And it's okay if it's like not good. You can be totally honest. You can be like, ew, this is not.
Okay, so what should you try out first? Try the dry rub, right, guys?
These beans. These are my favorite.
Oh, try beans.
I'm straight to the beans. I'm sure they're probably super hot though.
Yeah.
No, they're just right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good.
It's like a little sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's savory. Like you don't need like add anything in this. Yeah.
The smoke really gives it that perfect balance.
So you got beans, you got brisket. So how long did it take you to smoke the brisket?
So like I said, the briskets are like, what, 12, 14 hours usually, anywhere between 12 to 14 hours. But the hard part is letting them rest, because briskets are better when they rest at least 2 hours. And typically what I would like to do is to rest them anywhere between like 4 to 10 hours even. Really. And if you have like a unit that can keep them hot at a certain temperature, it renders the fat even more, and they can hold for a very long time. But the more you hold it, the more tender it gets. And so that's what you'd rather do with a brisket. So it just takes it's a longer process.
Okay. All right. So we already got some questions. All right. So Sierra asks, who is your biggest influence in the barbecue business?
Man. Okay.
So we're going to be like, so, there's some questions that I also have, but we're going to go with what y'all want to know.
Hey, could you move the camera up a little bit? Give us a little bit of one-on-one. I'm about to talk about this. This is a very important conversation.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You need to turn it down a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, that's fine.
Okay,
Thank you, Kara.
Sierra, so to answer your question,
why he's talking?
How can I explain this? So when it comes to like my influence, like famous people, like people that would know like the names, obviously Aaron Franklin is on the list. Jeremy Yoder, who is Mad Scientist Barbecue, which is a YouTuber. Also, another one that I learned a lot from is Malcolm Reed, who is How to Barbecue right on YouTube. In fact, that rub right there, it says Killer Hogs Barbecue. It says The Barbecue Rub. That's their barbecue rub. They actually made it into Walmart, which is pretty cool.
Oh wow!
And so, anyways, those people, I think those are people that taught me the most. Just like watching their stuff and understanding how they do what they do. But then also, getting started, I was really inspired by some of the chefs that we had as our neighbors.
Like your passion, it's really homegrown, right?
Yeah. We so kind of how we got started, how this all came to be. We started a new home in a place called Pearland, Texas, which is about 10 minutes outside Roseburg. So it's like green to Roseburg. So I'm sorry, Houston, correct.
You started in Roseburg.
Yeah.
Texas, Houston.
And we built this house out there. We got to know everybody really well because while we were building it, we had a Facebook group that was started. So we got to know everybody that was building homes in the area. They're basically all of our age, or kids our age. And there was people that did barbecue, and they really loved the food, and they actually did it as like a craft. They really enjoyed it, and they're chefs. And a buddy of mine, his name is Joe Cervantes. He's worked for like Houston on the Bayou, and just a lot of he actually runs a place in Texas right now, and I actually just helped him out with a barbecue for a 4th of July smokeout, and I was hooked. After that, I was like, man, we were in there for like I don't know how long. We were there from like 5 a.m, and we worked all the way to the nighttime, and at the end of it all, like we had this amazing food, and it was just like it was so satisfying, And so after that, I was like, okay, I like this. I wanted to learn more about it, and everybody taught me how to do it, and I learned from another guy. His name's Clint Richardson. He's a really, really great guy. He owns CRQ Barbecue down in Texas. He taught me a lot. So those are the people that I would say are most influential. Yeah. Hey, Monica. Wow. Hey, sis. What you up to? Goodness gracious. You could be up here eating barbecue. This place is awesome. How'd you learn to cook? Self-taught or learn from someone? Like I said, I mean, we had so many people that were influences in my life when it comes to cooking and learning how to cook. But honestly, guys, like YouTube is like pretty awesome, man. YouTube has been the one thing that has taught me the most, and getting connected with people that know what they're doing.
So how, since you're self-taught in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like how do you perfected this? Because obviously you didn't just like did it once and it was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, I'm sure there's some trial and error. Like
Yeah.
how do you know when it's like done? Like, or this is the recipe, or this is the way, or is it still a continuous improvement?
It's always improvement. There's there is a certain way to do it. Like you don't want to not see a smoke ring. Like if you look at it, I don't know, you can't really see it in the picture, but it almost looks pink. Like people look at it, like, oh, that's raw.
Yeah, that's pink.
But it's not raw. It's the smoke ring, right? And you can only really do that with certain techniques. Like you can't just do it with every kind of oven. It won't work like that. So there's certain techniques that have to be done in order to achieve that. And so there's basics when it comes to barbecue. There truly is. When it comes right down to it, it's fire management, keeping that fire going and understanding how the fire works so you can maintain a temperature, and making sure that temperature is low and keeping it steady. And then once you do that, you start to learn about the meat and understanding how they cook and how long it needs and spraying it down, like what kind of season to use. It's just fun, man. I just love it. It's a really great thing.
So what's the average like temperature you keep for smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Like, like is it different for different kind of meat, or is it just like overall? And like how do you keep the smoke up? Because you do firewood, so like firewood could be kind of unpredictable. How do you make those happen?
Yeah. Excuse me, guys. I'm eating right now. It's a little bit hard to talk.
Don't talk.
So when it comes to fire, it is 100% learning, trial and error, learning how like what size logs are going to create a certain amount of degrees of temperature. When you look at a fire, you can just see, okay, it's starting to go down. You don't got to look at the thermometer. You can just tell by looking at it. Making sure it has a lot of airflow. You just start learning. A fire is a living thing, and so when you're working with it, you see how it responds to what you do to it. But it is a little unpredictable because you don't. I mean, every piece of wood is different. So you think you're going to do something, and then boom, it shoots up like so many degrees, and you're like, oh crap, it's going to burn it, and you don't want to dry it out and all that. So it's a little hectic. Yeah. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Well, also it's like you started doing this in Texas. Obviously, the weather in Texas is very different from Oregon.
Oh yeah.
So like, how have you had to change your techniques and recipe for accommodating like Oregon fun weather?
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the weather here, honestly, I have such a big pit that it doesn't really matter. Like, it matters.
Having a big pit is, this is the pit master. He knows
we have
what a
such
big
a huge
pit
pit. I mean, the place that you're actually making the fire. It's a huge pit, and so you're not burning like little chunks of wood. Like you're burning full size logs, and so all it needs is a little bit of airflow, and all I do is open the door for it, and it just goes. And when it comes to like I've used it in the summer, the winter time when it snowed this last time, and just having it going, like all the snow just melted all around it, And, it is a little bit more tricky. You got to burn a little bit more logs to keep it hotter, but typically it's okay.
Okay, we got some quick question. Why do you choose the particular styles of beef you work with as opposed to alternative cut like tri-tip?
Okay, tri-tip. Now, this is something that I never even really heard of until I came to the West Coast. Ever. Like, tri-tip is not even something that we don't really ever use, I guess. It's just not something that in Texas that.
Why not?
It's not really a thing. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really know why we don't use it.
Does that mean you're not going to serve tri-tip here?
So I've been considering it because there is a way that you can do tri-tip that I enjoyed. So I've been playing around with some recipes to do smoked tri-tip, but I smoke it like a brisket. So instead of smoking, and so really most people eat tri-tip medium rare, right? So it's like more like a steak, but this way you're making it more like a brisket. So when you cut into it, everything is almost exactly the same as a brisket. It's just a little bit smaller. I'm considering doing that, but the fact is that it's such a different culture shock to people here. They'd be like, dude, this is too done. Like this is too cooked. So I don't know, like, when it comes to tri-tip, I've never really grew up using that stuff. So, for me, that's the reason why I don't use it. I have tried it. I like it. It tastes like steak to me. I'll just get a steak,
Yeah. So Cherry asked, do you cook the sides and stuff as well? So he actually mentioned this earlier, but he could reiterate real quick for us.
Yeah. So we're still perfecting the potato salad, but honestly, I love our beans so much. I don't think we're gonna change it. Our beans are awesome. That was one thing that there was somebody on our street back home that had an amazing bean recipe, and we're like, we really, really, really wanted it. And Elizabeth, if you're listening right now, you just need to understand how much we were like about to pay you for this. Okay, like we were ready to go. Because it was like the best thing we've ever eaten, And but we found this recipe and we started to tweak a little bit, and it's just awesome. Like I could eat this for lunch, And so, but yeah, we make them. So for us, it's important. It's important that we kind of do our own thing. So yeah.
So I know we've been talking a lot about the food and the cooking, and I'm sure a lot of y'all want to hear about that. But I also want to hear more about your journey from Texas to Roseburg, because that seems like why, what, how you end up here. So tell us a little bit more about your Texas life and what brought you here, and why you decided to do this here versus going back to Texas and doing this.
Okay. Wow, that's a loaded question.
There's a lot of questions. Yes.
All right. Okay. Why am I here? First of all, let me eat. Let me finish this bite.
I'm the one who talks and eat at the same time.
So how did I get here? Well, I am the former CEO of Keller Williams Umpqua Valley. For the past, 5-6 years, babe? 5 years. I was in real estate. I started out as what's known as the director of first impression. Then I moved up to a position called director of agent services, where I was helping with marketing, helping them build their businesses. I was also helping bring in new agents into. I'm about to use the bad word. New agents into our company, brand new agents that are getting into the industry. That's what I was helping them do as well. And just teaching them how to build their business. That's what I was doing back home in Texas. I was doing a really great job, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I saw a lot of growth potential there. And I originally started out to be a drug and alcohol chemical dependency counselor. It's a very hard thing to say.
Oh, wow.
I was going to school. I was going to college to get my license to help people get off drugs. And there was other plans for me, and went halfway through that. Real estate came into my life, and Keller Williams taught me they had this culture. It was more than just selling real estate and business. It was more of like who you are and like how you can personally develop who you are and grow as a person. And it was great. I got hooked. They have something. They have a joke. They say drinking the Kool-Aid. It's like a cult. And honestly, I was drinking it by the gallon, and I was like into it, But the thing is, it taught me so much. It taught me how to believe in myself. It taught me how to grow and how to set goals for myself. And at one point, they told me you could be anything you want to be in 5 years. And this was back when I was the director of first impression, which is a really great way to describe the front desk receptionist. Okay, and here I am, a military veteran. I'm full of tattoos, and I'm the receptionist, right? So just a little bit of a shakeup, a little bit of shift in the way that I looked at a job. And but before long, I recognized that the company was much more than just real estate and job, and it was something I could do for the rest of my life. So I got into it. And in 5 years, I became the CEO of the company, just like they said. And so after that happened, like a year or two into it, I started to talk to someone up here. They were building something out here they wanted me to be a part of. And what I was having over there, I felt like I had kind of reached the ceiling of my achievement there, and I needed to find something that would allow me to grow to where I wanted to be, but I wanted to stay within the company. So it was kind of like as fate would have it, the stars aligned, and yeah, here I am today. And we originally, I actually left first, so it was. So I have so for those people out there, I have a wife and 2 kids, 2 girls, and and so
yeah, not single, so take it.
So yeah, I'm not single. I'm definitely married, happily married. We have 2 beautiful girls, Callie and Haven. My wife Kara, she works from home, but they came up here after I did. I came up here by myself, and really just came out here in faith that this is what I was supposed to do. Stayed in the Motel 6 for a whole week while we were waiting to find something, but I knew I had to be here, and so I just left. Didn't have a place to live or anything. Just came up here and
oh wow,
made it happen. And we live in a beautiful home now, and yeah, so that's what brought me here, and over time, what I did as the CEO, I was helping people build their businesses. And so what that meant was I was a business consultant, right? And so I would help people that were either struggling in their business or people that wanted more in their business and wanted to help people or just wanted to go personally. I was that person. And as I sat there and talked to them, I'd always had this lingering thought in the back of my head, like, why am I not doing this? Why, how can I help other people do it and not myself, right? And so at a certain point, I said, well, maybe real estate's going to be the thing for me, right? So I started on that process, and it just never really, getting my license just never stood out to me. But every time I'd get behind this smoker, it was like it felt like me, it felt like that was who I truly was. And it felt like this is, it was like my true authentic self. Right. And so over time, I just felt like this draw towards it. And at a certain point, it was like, I couldn't do anything else. I had to do this. If I didn't do this, like, I don't know what was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
I had to do it.
That's a big leap of faith.
Yeah. And so, we were renting out our house back home in Texas, and we decided to go ahead and sell it and start this business. And so we're on our way. Yeah.
So the last question I had is like, you decided to follow your passion. That's amazing. But why Roseburg? Why not? Why stay here? Why not go back to Texas? Why not go somewhere else?
Well, that's part 2, yeah. So when it comes to Texas, first of all, Texas is awesome. I love it. It's my home state. But it's just another drop in the bucket. Okay, barbecue businesses are literally a dime a dozen in Texas. Everybody and their uncle has one. And there's no shortage of good barbecue in Texas. Okay, trust me. The stuff people are doing out of the backyards of their homes are just as good as any other place in a restaurant. So there's no shortage of barbecue. But coming here, I recognize that this community needs more options. And when I started to think about doing what I'm doing, in the beginning it was like, well, the question was, what do you want to do? And it was like, I want to barbecue. It's like, well, you're already doing that. So you get to do that, so why not? So what do you still need to do? And I recognized that I needed to be more. Like I needed to do it on a bigger scale for more people, and to do it much more than just parties and little events that I do with our families and stuff, but make it something that I can actually, make people happy with and bring a culture to a community. And this particular place, Roseburg, as I came here and got into real estate and got into the church community I'm here too with, it was just like the most incredible community that just welcomed me in. And it just felt like home, like immediately as soon as we got here. And we had thoughts of moving away, starting like an Airbnb business and just trying to find a way to make this barbecue business work and have passive income coming in. And then we recognized, you know what, like this is our community, this is our home, and we've set up a life for ourselves and grown a huge sphere of influence. We don't want to leave that and have to start over from scratch. We want to stay here and build something where we've already planted our roots. So yeah, we're not going anywhere, sticking around.
Okay.
We're planning.
I'm awesome. Like I'm happy about that because I get to eat this food. And Josh Rogers say the legend. Okay, and Cherry say thanks for sharing your story with us. Can't wait to try the barbecue.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us more about like this vision of like this business, because you mentioned a little bit about the catering, the truck. like locations. So kind of like, what is your vision? Like, what is your big vision? Because there's also part of that vision is community. Like, what? Like, share with us that.
Okay. So
she share, he share, I eat.
part of what is so amazing about barbecue is that it brings people together. And when it comes to having the family come over for like a Sunday afternoon lunch, or you have your birthday parties or whatever it is, you just go to the park for the afternoon or whatever it is, and being able to just drive down the street to a barbecue joint and say, okay, hey, I want a couple pounds of brisket or a couple pounds of ribs or whatever, and just them wrapping it up, bringing it home to your family. Honestly, that's not a reality here. And
really?
Yeah, you just can't do that. You can't get that type of that kind of a service here. And so as I recognized that, because I was like, man, we're trying to get some good brisket from, and I just recognized, man, there's really no place I can just go and get it, like not like that. I recognize how much of an incredible thing is missing.
Hey, baby.
Hi, baby. This is the little one. This is Haven Ray Marino. Say hi right here. Say hi. She's over here. She sees the food. Are you hungry? You want some food? You want to go get some food? Okay. And this is the other one here. This is Callie.
Hi.
Hi, Callie.
Callie is 10, and Haven is 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Y'all hungry? Y'all want some food? Mama, you want to make them some food? Okay. We're family here, guys. We're eating together.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about like barbecue, like how I do what I do or anything like that, I'm down to give you guys some secrets.
Yeah, like we're only 30 minutes in, and unless you want to just watch me eat, which maybe you do. But like there's something you shared with me earlier about, like the veteran is a big, passion of yours. You came, you were in the military and all that stuff. So like, how do you see your food and your business in contribution to the veterans community, especially here in Roseburg? It's a big community here.
Yeah. So it is a big community here. In fact, when I first came into Douglas County, it says we honor our veterans.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and honestly, serving in the military and seeing going through a lot and seeing what a lot of other people have gone through. I think that they've always been, even in Texas. I mean, and it's a very different place in Texas and Oregon. But I feel like they're not appreciated enough. And politics aside, everything aside, the people that are serving this country, they've laid their lives down. Whether they agree on something that some of their leaders are doing or not, they have agreed to say, I will do whatever is necessary. And a lot of people have lost their lives because of it. And so for me, just knowing and experiencing that and having so many of my friends lose their lives and family that has lost their lives as well, serving this country, I figure, anything I can do to honor those people and to support them in any way, that's really what I want to do. So, we're obviously going to give like veterans discounts, and I'd love to work with a VA.
Oh, veteran discounts.
Yeah, and just really do what I can to support them. And we do have. I see a lot of events that we have here that incorporate the veterans community, and I just want to be a part of that. So, how well we can serve them and help those.
You could be part of like some of the veterans parade and.
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. And I've actually started to get to know some people. I'm not gonna mention any names, but I'm starting to get to know some people that want to have some fun with that. So we're gonna have some fun.
So tell us, people are already asking, when are you making this thing happen? Because Chime can't be the only one enjoying this. Like, so where is this food truck? Where is this maybe locations happening? Like, give us a little sneak peek of like, when and what's going on.
Okay, so goodness gracious.
The hard questions.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we are our target date for us to be fully operational with the truck is end of June, and early July latest. And so what that looks like, the vision we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
What that looks like is that we are going to have days that we're open Those days we will
be like at a certain location or something.
We're going to be at a certain location. So first and foremost, the Sleep Suite Inn, I think that's what it's called. It's right there by Applebee's.
Oh yeah.
The owners, one of their son had mentioned that they wanted to talk to me about renting out space there. We're considering the lot as well. That's something that we were wanting to look into as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities here. There's so many different places, and honestly, we've had a lot of people just ask us like, "Hey, well, you want to come over here? We love barbecue," because really and truly, I think having an additional food option is just going to bring people in, regardless of what kind of option it is, which is good for business, for everybody. So a lot of different places. So this is supposed to be happening here. So on those days, we're going to show up. We're going to smoke a whole bunch of meat, and we're going to stay out there till we sell out. Just to be honest with you guys, I've seen this operation done at a very high level in Texas, and there's like lines, and those lines usually wrap around for a little while, and they sell out. Just to give you guys a little insight, we did a Texas, an Austin trip not too long ago. And we did the Aaron Franklin thing. It's a Franklin barbecue, and you got to get out there. We got out there like 7 o'clock in the morning. We had our little lawn chairs, and you bring a little cooler beer, and it's a tradition. You just sit out there and wait. It opens at 11 or 11:30 or something like that, and they usually sell out by
Wait, this is you going to get food?
Mm-hmm.
7 a.m. waiting in line to get food.
Yeah. I'm talking about Aaron Franklin.
Okay,
yeah.
So tell me. Yeah. You say some of these going to take 7 to 8 hours.
Huh?
So when did you start, like when you're in your location, and when is actually like food time? Because I'm thinking like if you go open for lunch like noon, what are you like starting like 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yep. So I will officially be a vampire. Mm-hmm. I will be nocturnal for sure. That's why we're gonna do. Like when are certain days because I'm gonna have to sleep sometime.
Yeah. And when do you think you're gonna start being open? Like, is it like noon? Is it like later? Is this kind of like take this home for dinner?
I think this is gonna be lunchtime. Open up probably around 11. 11. Okay. But I would like to incorporate breakfast tacos.
Ooh.
So we'll probably open up when we do that. We'll probably open up like 7 or so to do that.
Oh, wow.
Because I think about it, I would go to work at like 8. And so if I had a place that I can go to, stop on the way and get a breakfast taco, I would definitely do that. Probably open up at 7 and do that. Yeah, put some brisket on the breakfast tacos. That'd be awesome.
All right. Yeah. All right. So breakfast tacos. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got, Renee saying she was in the Army. Mm-hmm. Callan say excited to try it. Jill say thank you for your service. Thanks Chime for letting us know about the new catering place. Looks fabulous. Now I'm hungry for barbecue. Hey, in just a couple months you get to enjoy all of this.
Yep.
Or unless you're friends with them, then you could
You can buy them. I mean, we've been doing like samples and stuff.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna regret saying this because this is. I mean, honestly, we want to help those people that are looking to do catering, and we want to make sure that they see and what they're going to get. But then I'm making a bunch of food, so I might as well let other people try it too. So that's kind of what we've been doing, dropping off on people.
So are just like by request, or are you kind of having a day when okay, this is the day that I'm going to have sampling offer, so put your order in now.
So the first thing we did a sample box giveaway. We did 2 people. We gave away boxes that was basically for 4 people. We gave them a bunch of ribs, bunch of brisket, pulled pork, a bunch of beans, potato salad, a bunch of stuff, bread, all types of stuff.
How much did that value for?
That one probably maybe $60-$70 probably, give or take. For
a family of 4. That's actually pretty good price.
Yeah, and it they brought it back to their office, and they're all these people were there sharing with. They're we had all these people eating it, but they still had leftovers. So, when it comes down to Texas barbecue, they say everything's bigger in Texas. So that's another thing when it comes to the food. Things are bigger. It's a lot more portions. And
I definitely would admit. Look at this rib.
That's a huge.
Look at this rib. Yeah, you notice that I've been working on a smaller one. I'm
Chime, you've been eating every little morsel. I can't do that. I can't do the cartilage stuff.
I'm cleaning it up. You know, hey, I'm
I can
Chinese. I don't waste food.
I can like hear them crunching next to me. It's like I can't do it.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Hey, I don't waste food, but I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So tell us more about this. Like, kind of like, okay, you have certain days that you have your food truck at a certain location.
Yeah.
What about the catering? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like, is that by pound, by people?
It's by people. Yeah.
Okay.
It's by people. We do 1 meat and 2 meat options, and so really and truly, the 2 meat's a better option. It's a better deal.
Okay.
But we do 1 meat and 2 meat options. You can either get brisket, pulled pork, or ribs, or you can double up portions, whatever. When it comes with sides, it comes with beans, it comes with potato salad, it comes with a side salad, and it comes with pickles and onions and white bread too.
Pickle with onion, white bread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is something that they do in Texas. It's like you put all your meat like on a bun, on a piece of white bun, and you put like onions and pickles, and sometimes you put some barbecue sauce on it, but that's how we eat it. That's just the way you do it.
We did that last time when I was here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was so confused because I'm eating barbecue. I just want to eat the meat. Why am I eating buns?
I'm not so much into like the onion, but the pickle. I like the pickles.
Okay.
Yeah, the onions. I mean, I like onions. I just don't like them on barbecue so much.
Yeah. So buns, like burger buns, pickle, onions with like, is that like pulled pork or what is what is it? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a pulled pork sandwich.
Okay. So
yeah. I don't know what I was talking about.
I don't know either. I don't care. I'm just talking about food.
We're talking about food. We do pretty much everything though. I mean, I'm a hunter too, so love venison, love smoking venison, sausage, stuff like that, backstrap. I've been doing a little bit of everything, but just kind of settled on barbecue.
Are you ever when I went to Texas last year?
Mm-hmm.
One of the thing I noticed that they do a lot is the sausages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you be offering any of that here?
So that is something I want to do really, really bad.
Okay.
I want to learn how to make sausage because I'll tell you what, the sausage is different up here.
Okay.
I don't know how else to say it. It's the only way I can say it. It's just different.
You can be real. Like Oregon is Oregon.
It's just different.
Like, Northwest,
I went into the grocery store and got what looked like the same type of sausage I would get. It wasn't the same brand, but it looked similar. And it was just different. I mean, everything about it was different. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna. So what you said earlier, like no waste, like not wasting food. When I trim briskets, for instance, like I'm saving everything. Mm-hmm. All the trimmings, I use that for the beans, for instance. We're smoking the trimmings, and the trimmings can be big chunks of meat, and it's still good. It's just not like what you would normally smoke, but even the fat, like if it's a big hunk of fat, like I put it in a pot and render that down, and so it makes it even more moist and more juicy. It's just awesome. And so when it comes to the beans, we put the brisket in too. We want to waste nothing. So when it comes to sausage, for instance, you can do the same thing with the brisket trimmings and all that. You make your sausage out of that. Okay. That's something we're wanting to do. I just have to learn how to do it.
Okay. All right.
Which I can do.
Yeah. So sausage. Oh, another thing is I saw that they were doing corn.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about elotes?
Yeah.
Like Mexican street corn?
Yeah. Well, here's also another thing. Like, so tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. You Mexican. Like, how does that all like relate to like Texas barbecue?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your own culture, the Texas culture, and because also elote, because
Yeah, absolutely. So, especially Houston, we have a lot of Spanish culture. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say there's probably the majority of the race in Houston. And so just the way that we do things when it comes to barbecue, it gets a lot of, I personally think it gets a lot of influence from the Mexican culture. Just the way that we gather and the way that like we hang out and stuff. I'm going to be very careful about how I say this, but like it's just very similar in the culture of just having backyard barbecues and getting family together. And so, when it comes to barbecue, I learned a lot from my dad. I learned a lot from, a lot of my friends that were Hispanic that they would have family stuff, and I just learned. And there's always a grill going. There's always some beer or something. There's always family around. It's just a good time, and so I think it does. I think it plays into it a little bit. When it comes to me, I personally wish I had more of a Hispanic culture in my life. However, I wasn't really raised that way. So the Spanish I do know, it's been kind of like self-taught and kind of been taught like, through situations. And but now, which is very interesting, I'm a musician. So me and my wife, we lead worship for our church, and we lead worship every now and then for the Spanish service.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of like the weirdest thing in the world, but it's awesome.
Do you sing in Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. No, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like
maybe next show we'll watch Cruz sing.
It's on my Facebook. You can probably find me, but I don't know how, but I do what I do, and it's just a blessing to be able to do that. And it's really amazing how I'll get a song and I'll listen to it a few times, and I'm able to just learn it and sing it. And I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know. So it's crazy, but yeah, I really wish I had a little bit more of that in my life, because it is from where I'm actually from. We did a DNA testing actually.
Oh, okay.
Because my dad was an orphan, and
okay.
He was an orphanage and everything. So his sister really wanted to get a better understanding where they came from, and I'm actually like, what was it? I'm half like mostly Indian, right?
I thought it was like Nigerian or something.
I think it's
Nigerian.
I think it said a Mexican Indian. I think that's what it said.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You did have Indian.
Yeah, a lot of mostly that. It was like Nigerian and Jewish of all things too.
Oh,
so it's very interesting. But anyway, so it's just, I wasn't really raised with that kind of culture, and so kind of growing up, it was a little bit of struggle for me because I never really knew where to fit in or anything like that. But yeah, I don't even know how I got down that conversation.
Well, I think because like with like Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, and then we also talk about elote. Like it's just like I think like with Texans like culture, there's been a lot of like Hispanic influence, and
absolutely,
and like in a way, it's kind of like almost natural in a way, like to have this family gathering, have this community gathering with it. And I think that's what I feel like it's not just the food that I really love, like your idea of like doing this here is like the ability to bring the community together, because nowadays like one thing I love about Roseburg is like the community of people here, and when it comes time to like come together, I also would love for our community to come together, not just in crisis but also in love and support, and nothing say love than food.
Absolutely,
because like I could tell this right here. The taste is not just you making, some rub. You put some love into this food. Like that's why it's like, we started this conversation about like, like this is a passion, like because I'm a realtor. Like I definitely love helping people. I love, the work. And also, in many ways it's also part of my passion because it helps people. Right. But for you, you did enjoy helping people, but this me. Is the passion, is the love, and it goes into the love for the community.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it starts with the love of community. And honestly, it comes from me wanting to love others, like, and putting them first. Throughout real estate, I'd always tell people, and they're like, you know what? My purpose in life is to help other people get what they want. And I did that for a long time. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to say that that's the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, I kind of let myself become, I put myself on the back burner because I was putting other people's growth before my own. And so at a certain point, I realized that I had to do it for myself. And when it came down to it, the desire to help people and help people get what they want, it never went away. However, my focus was now on how can I do that in a way that also helps my family and supports us. And so when I started to think about, like, I started to do like self-reflection and like, okay, well, how can I manifest that? How can I create that and make something? And it's not a great idea, but how do you create that? And I started to look into it, and I'd always hear the same thing, if you want to be successful, do something you love. what do you love to do? What makes you feel energized? What makes you feel like you love to do it? You want to go and do it. You can't not do it. You have to do it. What is that thing in your life? And I knew it was this. And so I said to myself, you know what? I know it's hard. I know not everybody makes it. I know that I'm going to be swimming against the current, and there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. And at the same time, I get to do what I love to do. You can ask my wife. I wake up at like all hours of the night. I go to sleep in the middle of the day, wake up, so I can spend the entire night outside by a fire drinking coffee and spraying some meat down, just so the next morning everybody's all woke up and refreshed, and I'm a ball of sweat, super tired, can't even think straight. But the only thing that matters to me is that those people enjoy what I put in front of them, and it makes all the time, it makes all the effort, all the sleepless hours, it makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm going to stay up all night, it's going to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm be working, it's going to turn out good. If it's not good, I'm not going to serve it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely say, you've been smoking all day, and today is one of those, interesting Oregon weather that's actually hot.
It was hot today.
Yeah. And when I got here, you were pretty exhausted. But now, because we were talking about the food, we're eating the food, you were energized. You talk about your passion,
That's so true.
I see your love into this.
Yeah.
But I also know it's hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. People when they talk about pit masters, they make fun of the word, and I did too for a long time. And then I recognize that title comes from the work you put into the food, because the food's just a piece of meat that's sitting on a grill, but you have to maintain that fire. You have to create a good fire, and if you don't know how to do that, it's not going to turn out good. It doesn't matter what you do to the thing. It's the meat. So for me, most of the hard work comes into splitting wood, having to be inside this pit, this huge, massive box, and putting your hands in this hot fire. You're just pouring sweat.
Wow.
Bringing the meat in and out and all that stuff, lifting these big, heavy doors, because it's thick steel. It's it's a 1/4 inch steel, I think.
Oh wow.
So it's very thick, very heavy. So the doors are really heavy, and it's a lot of work. Meanwhile, you haven't slept. You're trying to work against a clock, and it's a lot of work. It's very stressful. It's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's worth it,
Yeah. So, all right. Sierra said, "Thank you for bringing a whole new level to Roseburg area. We're excited to have you here."
Thank you.
This is why I'm wanted to do this, show, because I have the privilege of experiencing some of this, and I know in a couple of months Roseburg will get this, but I want you guys to get a sneak peek of it, because you're definitely a really good friend, amazing friend to me. I also really appreciate the opportunity to eat this food again. He spent 7 hours on this food just so I can have to show to eat in front of you. Imagine that. So. Yeah,
it was my pleasure. I love doing it. And you love helping people selling real estate. I love making sure a fire stays at 250 degrees.
250 degrees.
Yep. Now you got a little secret from me. Yeah. You actually asked that question about a while back. What is the temperature? Is it kind of vary? My sweet spot is 250. This is going to greatly depend on the smoker you're using. If you have a really small smoke, you may not want to use that. If you have a really, really big smoker, 500,000 gallon smoker, you're going to want to crank it up 275 or something like that. But low and slow is anywhere between 225 and 250. That's where I stay.
Yeah, I would say if you're a newbie in smoking, maybe hit up Cruz about some tips, or just go and buy his food. Yeah.
Honestly, I'll tell you the biggest challenge behind this.
Okay.
The biggest challenge starting a Texas barbecue company in Oregon is that nobody knows what it is. Okay, it's it's not an industry here. So, for instance, in Texas, you go to your HEB, or they don't have HEB here. You go to your grocery store. You're gonna have bags of post oak wood, bags of pecan wood, just sitting there, and they're $5, $10. I don't know anymore, but they're pretty cheap. If you go to Walmart here, it's $20 a bag, because it's exotic here.
Oh wow!
And so for me, things like that. certain rubs that they don't have here.
Yeah. Well, here's also something that's interesting. Like, I think a lot of us in the West Coast, in general, Pacific Northwest, we're more familiar with the sauce, with the glaze, with the barbecue sauce. And like we put more barbecue sauce on barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And now you're introducing this like dry rub, which is like, for some of us, like, why are we eating dry meat?
Yeah.
And but it's not dry.
It's not dry. It's still very tender and moist. It's just it's called a bark. That's what it's called.
A bark.
Bark. So, for instance, like on that piece of chicken right there, the outside of it's not burned. So, like on the chicken or on those ribs, that's not burned. It looks black, especially in the video right now. It looks like it's burnt to a crisp. But I promise you, for those people out there looking, this is not burned. This is flavor. So that crust is nothing but flavor.
It's not burnt.
The thing about bark is that you have to maintain it. You have to maintain the moisture in it. So that's why I spritz it with this particular mixture. But you also don't want it to be wet, because if it's just soaking, you're not going to build up that crust layer. But you don't want it to be too dry either. So you have to find a balance.
So when you do the glazed one, do you already cook it glazed, or you glaze it later?
So when it comes to the glazing, when it comes to ribs in particular, it's all the same. Starts the same. But then when it comes to the time when you have to wrap them, I put the one that has the glaze. I put brown sugar. I put butter. I put honey. I put some tiger sauce in there, and that's all the stuff that's wrapped up inside it. And then I'll throw that back on the pit. The ones that don't have that, like don't have the glaze, I'll just wrap that up with some butter, and then at the end of it, I'll just take it out. But then at the end, the ones that have glaze on it, I'll take them out and I'll put them on the pit, and like I'll glaze them with a little brush.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
All right, and Diana say thank you for bringing food culture to the Berg.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's a little bit of a culture here, I would say.
There's a little bit. It's growing.
Yeah, and really starting this venture, I've actually got to meet and gotten to know a lot more people in the food industry here, and it's actually really cool. I'm actually excited to be a part of it. It just seems like a cool industry, or people just get to live a good life, and it's exciting.
Yeah. I'm definitely happy and excited. So,
yeah, absolutely. Me too. It's going to be a good time, and we want to make sure it's family friendly. So we're going to try to make it to where people can bring their families out and have a good afternoon lunch.
What would be like a kid's meal?
A kid's meal.
Because you say family friendly, because like I could bust a couple ribs.
Yeah.
I'm sure your kids could bust a couple.
Oh, ribs. Dude, they are like in love with these ribs. Honestly, I think that's probably what kids would do, right? They would go for the ribs, pulled pork. We want to do like little, like the little mini sliders, little Hawaiian rolls. We can do that. Because how we have Chick-fil-A here now. There's a Chick-fil-A in Medford here, but there's Chick-fil-A is a Texas company. It's a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, I think there's a Chick-fil-A supposed to be.
Well, it's mostly that's where I saw it in Texas.
I was like, I don't think we have Chick-fil-A in Roseburg.
There's in Medford.
Medford.
Yeah. They have these little.
I think they have one in College Grove.
Yeah, they may.
They might be.
That'd be nice. They have these little rolls, like these little breakfast bites, these little buttered rolls, and like a little chicken strip in the middle. It's really good. But that's what I'm thinking, like for pulled pork for kids and stuff.
Yeah. So, all right, we got one more minute before we wrap up. Do any of y'all have any more questions? Because I'm also about to have food coma.
Me too.
Yeah, this is delicious.
I'm in the same boat.
This is just freaking delicious. And Cruz, I appreciate you and thank you for the opportunity to enjoy your food again, and opportunity to do the show and really help allow me to showcase the community your food.
Yeah,
because this is a sneak peek that just really honor I get to do this.
Yeah, well, it was an honor to be on the show. I remember when you first started doing this, and I was so proud of you seeing it. And I didn't want to ask, can I be on your show? I didn't want to do that, but I was like, you know what? I knew about this before probably anybody else. And so I figured out.
Yeah, you're definitely one of my inspiration.
Yeah.
You were definitely one of the people who, even though I'm not with KW, you really pushed me into my business and pushed me in my development, my growth.
Yeah.
A lot of what I'm doing right now, I would say is partly because of you.
Oh man, that makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
Well,
by the way, where I got the idea of jumping out of an airplane?
This guy.
Yeah. So.
This guy. Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy to have you as a friend and as a And honestly, guys, Chime, they're going to be the one to help you with anything you need when it comes to selling your house. Just anything. You do everything. You do a lot of things that, I know that they really want to help. So, I'm really just very happy to be able to link up with you and do this, and hopefully anything I can do to help. If anybody out there would like to get some more information about our food, let us know. We're at Honey Hill TX BBQ. You can reach me at my phone number. I'm 541-670-1124. And you guys can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you guys want. And we're here for you guys. So,
So we'll definitely, maybe do a live when he actually opens up. And otherwise, I will definitely see you next week for another Ask Chi Anything. So, all right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. That was so much fun.